Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Pagey, here again, and Superman Legacy by James Gunn, both on the writing and the directing side of things, will be what officially kicks off, at least cinematically, the new DC Universe curated by James Gunn in the middle part of 2025, with it set to start filming at the beginning of 2024. Superman is a character with more than a few live-action adaptations, so out of the gate, James Gunn has just, more than a few comparisons that people are going to point at when the film hits theaters in 2025, or, maybe even earlier, through things like set photos and other promotional material. Whether those comparisons are from the direct, predecessor or portrayals from the past, that's up for grabs as well. But one thing that is setting what James Gunn is doing apart from previous versions of the characters is that he sort of is making it clear that, what is inspiring his take. And unlike some other upcoming DCU projects, and despite Superman having a history spanning, 85 years now, only one source is being used, at least officially. All-Star Superman is a 12-issue series. It started at the end of 2005 and was written by well-known writer Grant Morrison. The story revolves around Superman in his final stage of life due to imminent death from overexposure to the sun, with him trying to do as much as he can before death. Grant Morrison wanted to tell a timeless Superman story that wasn't an origin story, or following a classic narrative, with All-Star Superman going on to receive critical acclaim for its writing and artwork, and it's considered to be one of the greatest Superman stories ever told to this day. Now, James Gunn has not shied away from showing his admiration for Grant Morrison's work with Superman here, even using some of his other stories as inspiration for other characters and projects that are coming up, and has used All-Star Superman's artwork when talking about his upcoming Superman Legacy film. But the official DC Comics account also listed All-Star Superman as the sole inspiration for Superman Legacy, though there could be some sub-inspiration, if you want to put it, as well for Superman Legacy, which we will come back later to, later on in the video. One of the more important things to take note of and remember with All-Star Superman is that it is an Elseworld story. It's not a part of the continuity of Superman in the main timeline of DC Comics, as this story is set around his final days before death. Now, this is a result of a scheme that's set up by Lex Luthor where he sabotages some scientists who were researching the sun, causing Superman to rescue them, but ultimately be overexposed to the sun's radiation, giving him limited time to live. But though Superman's death is the end of the story and essentially what the story all builds up to, that's not what the story is about. The story of All-Star Superman is a celebration of Superman, not only what he provides for Earth and its citizens, but also what Earth provides him, whether that's the love of his life, Lois Lane, his family, or simply a home. Now, the story really goes along and flows as Superman completes these 12 labors of Superman, or some would say the final 12 labors of Superman, works either way, with these featuring different villains and situations that contrast in regards to the size and stakes within them, but all having like a commonality with Superman and his relatability to the reader. Superman is this almighty, powerful, godlike figure, but he's also just a, humble farm boy from Kansas. One thing that many people say is that Superman isn't relatable and that he is too overpowered, and due to that you can't make him interesting. And All-Star Superman by Grant Morrison opens Superman to being outmatched and overpowered by Lex Luthor, who gets powers, while Superman is in the process of decaying due to the sun's radiation. But here's the thing, Superman still comes out on top because of his ideals and how he goes about his heroism. He isn't selfish and greedy for power like Lex. He is above that. It doesn't cloud what he's trying to do. And that is the thing and sort of the core thing with this story, because many are probably wondering okay, well, this is the main inspiration for Superman's first movie in a new universe and also the movie that starts the universe, but well, hold on, Superman dies? When, as we said before, Superman dying is not the main part of the story. It's about what Superman stands for and what he continues to stand for despite the obstacles in front of him. He is always putting himself second and the residents of Earth first. Power does not corrupt him. And that is an angle that James Gunn could be taking with the film. Superman probably won't be set up to die and that, be the track that is followed throughout the film. But it could be prejudice from those on Earth towards him despite the good that he does. With us seeing both sides of that power debate. An example, or maybe a group that are corrupted by the power that they have, and then those like Superman who don't let it corrupt them. Though there could be some self-doubt within Superman at first and what he is truly meant to represent on Earth, which can be built upon within the story and allows Superman to then fully accept who he is and what he is meant to be when the time comes in the story. Now, the key things you'd expect to be addressed in Superman Legacy, especially when referring back to All-Star Superman, is a focus on the spectacle and superheroic side of Superman, as well as the heart of the character, as well as the humanity of Superman, but also the struggle that comes along with that. He looks like he should belong. He isn't blue with antennas or anything like that. He looks like a human, but there is still an inner struggle within all that for Superman to combat. Supporting characters are going to be an important part of Superman Legacy, and one in particular is important in All-Star Superman, and you should be able to easily guess who that is, and that is Lois Lane. Now in All-Star Superman, due to knowing he is going to die fairly soon, Superman reveals to Lois who he truly is, which allows them to properly spend their time together in these limited moments that are left with Superman alive. And this relationship in Superman Legacy will be an interesting one to monitor, because they might not have Lois know that Clark Kent is Superman. Clark might want to keep that a secret and not have to be opened up upon, but at the same time, they easily could have it that Clark feels that Lois should know what's going on with him and everything about him. It is probably going to depend on what their relationship status is throughout the movie, both at the start and towards the end. I would probably prefer she knows sooner rather than later, but it does depend on how the story is going to play out. Now, when it comes to villains in Superman Legacy, I would be surprised if we saw a revolving door of threats like there is in All-Star Superman with all these different villains coming from different places, but Lex Luthor would have to play a part in the story, whether that is in the foreground or maybe lying in the background and scheming. And that could be attached to this corruption of power that might be sprinkled throughout the story. There are rumors that the Authority could be used in Superman Legacy, as they also have a film that's planned in the upcoming DCU shortly afterwards, and they could be used to display that corruption of power, or at least someone guiding them that plays into that corruption, potentially like a Lex Luthor. One other sub-inspiration, if you want to put it, that is, potentially could be playing into this is Kingdom Come, which was written by Mark Waid. Now, Kingdom Come, like All-Star Superman, is also an Elseworlds story, which revolves around, a bit into the future, where heroes are a bit more of a political discussion, and based off maybe potentially the Authority playing into this film, as well as other characters like Green Lantern, Hawkgirl, Mr. Terrific, and Metamorpho playing into it as well, Kingdom Come, and it's like two sides of heroism and what's right and wrong, and how to go about that heroism and vigilantism within society, that could be touched upon and be taken from Kingdom Come as well. That hasn't been really confirmed, that hasn't been really linked to by any sort of official DC accounts, but James Gunn has put photos out from, Kingdom Come, especially of the Kingdom Come Superman and characters like that. So that potentially could be a sub-inspiration for what's happening within Superman Legacy alongside All-Star Superman. David Corenswet has been cast as Superman and Clark Kent for Superman Legacy. He is 30 years old, and James Gunn has said that Superman in the film will be the same age as David Corenswet, or at least roughly. So we should expect Superman to be in his very late 20s or early 30s, around that 30 years of age mark. So that does put a question mark in regards to how long has Superman been Superman in this world. James Gunn has sort of stated this is a bit of a coming out into the world sort of thing as Superman, but not an origin story at the same time. So it makes you question whether maybe Clark himself has sort of been holding off jumping into being a superhero because of whether society will accept him, but also maybe some of the other factors in play in regards to maybe other heroes out there, because this will be a developed DC world that Superman is being introduced to. He's not the first hero. There are ones that have already been out there and been out there for a bit in time as well. So it will be interesting to see how the story progresses from that and which way they attack it. But at least we know that a lot of the hope, a lot of the optimism, a lot of the spectacle and the heart from All-Star Superman will be attached there, because that's the main inspiration. And with a writer like Grant Morrison being the inspiration for a movie like Superman Legacy, it makes me excited, so I can't wait to see what happens. But thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, it would be awesome if you could drop a like on it to show support. Let me know in the comment section down below. Are you looking forward to Superman Legacy? Do you like All-Star Superman as a story? Do you think there's some other inspirations for this film? Let me know in the comments. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.